I take pleasure in introducing the second speaker. Let me tell you, she's a rose among the thorns. This bundle of energy, an attorney at law with over 20 years at the Jamaican bar. Rochelle Cameron is a former Crown Counsel with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions in Jamaica. She has served as Vice President of Legal and Regulatory for Full Caribbean and Company Secretary of Cable and Wireless Jamaica and its subsidiaries. She has managed through crisis and organizational transformation with calm, collaborative, and decisive leadership, and is established in the corporate community as an expert business strategist and stimulating communicator. And you're going to see what I'm talking about. Her blend of business acumen and organizational skills allow her to be a valuable contributor on various public and private sector boards. Ultimately, though, she's focused on the development of people and is committed to helping our organizations create an enabling environment in which colleagues are engaged and motivated to tap into and unleash their brilliance. In keeping with this passion for mobilizing people beyond their perceived limits, Ms. Cameron has also served as Assistant VP of Human Resource Development and Public Relations at the Jamaica Broilers Group. She is the founder and currently CEO of Prescient Consulting Services Limited, a firm which supports organizations with the development and execution of impactful legal, people, and communication strategies. Ms. Cameron is also the co-founder of Ready to Emerge Limited, an organization focused on and professional development. And in addition to her legal training, she holds a Master's of Business Administration and International Business from the Mona School of Business and is a former lecturer at the institution. She's also a John Maxwell certified coach, trainer, and a speaker. She's the host of the popular PSOG's COVIDcast, a keynote speaker at local and international conferences. She uses her inimitable adrenaline rush, style of passion, high energy, and sense of humor to shape and deliver topics in a way that is both interesting and entertaining. Ms. Rochelle Cameron on the all-important topic of serving with excellence in the virtual world. Rochelle?
Thank you very, very much, Francine. It is such a pleasure to be here. I'm sorry, that presentation was absolutely amazing. I found myself here just double checking. And I said, it's a good thing I got my lashes done and I put on my lashes. I am ready, jazzing it up. I am showing up. And what a time we are living in, a time where we're showing up in a very different way. Where, as X-Roy pointed out, we get dressed and walk down the hall, or we actually get dressed and just turn to another corner of our rooms. What a time, but we are living in history. Remember when our grandparents used to tell us how they used to walk barefoot miles to go to school and how all of these various things that they went through. Guess what? We have things now that are now part of the annals of our history. This is a time where we never got training on working from home, but this now, I saw somebody put in WFH. Hear me, WFH. What is a WFH? Is a bad word that? Is a good word that? Is it a bad word? Is it a good word? We are now living in this virtual world. We're experiencing work from home. And I just want to say, good afternoon. I get to see the chat because I am not good like X-Roy, where I could actually put up my presentation myself. So the producers are moving the presentation for me. You see my lashes, Sophia? And let me tell you, those were some absolutely important points because as customer service agents. Every single one of us in the business has to now see ourselves as customer service agent and have to see ourselves as frontline. Because in this new virtual space of Zoom, we are all frontline. We all have to be available, delivering, whether to our external or to our internal customers. And it's so easy for us to get caught up in the melee, to get too comfortable in our sacks, to just throw on a pair of sweats or a t-shirt and say, I'm working from home. But we are working. Whether or not it is in our home space or we've had to battle through the traffic, and if you're in Jamaica, have to deal with some taxi driver on the road, whether you're doing that or you're actually just in a space in your home, we are working. So we have to see work as a thing that we're doing, as a passion place rather than a physical place. So yes, we have to show up, we have to be delivering and serving and pumping it up. Producers, can I get the next slide, please? I need a signal. That means next slide. It's not the strongest that survive, but those that are most adaptable. Time for adapt and change. Because it feels like we cannot play on that button that says what is going to happen next week, next month. I want to big up all of my Caribbean neighbors, everybody from, because this is a worldwide event. So I just want to be event. And you know, in Jamaica, I say, big up yourself. Glad you could join us today. But it's very, very important. But I just want to, because as I was preparing lockdown in Jamaica, 3 weekends of lockdown, I had to say to myself, you know, Rochelle, where were all of these exciting places that you were actually going to? Because I really wasn't going anywhere, you know. But because I felt that my freedom had been taken away, all of a sudden I felt anxious. And I said, oh my goodness, oh, another lockdown this weekend. Some of us went to the supermarket and buy out the supermarket. You'd think that we're going to be locked down until next year. But we started feeling these feelings of anxiety because we felt our freedoms were taken away. But you know what? I saw a post from one of our Vincentian neighbors where he spoke about having to seal all of the windows in the house, the doors, and being locked in the house, because we know that our Vincentian neighbors are experiencing this volcanic eruption. Can you imagine dealing with COVID and then having this volcano erupt? And I had to put things in perspective and say to myself, really and truly, what are you going through? What are we really going through? What is this time for us? Is this a new time to amp up how we serve, how we deliver in our businesses? Are we truly adaptable to change? Or is it that as the tides and the ebbs and the flows, we kind of get washed away? Or customers, because the one thing with COVID, though, you know, is COVID is an equal opportunity kind of disease. Everybody's got to wear a mask. And yes, if you do not do the sanitization and the relevant protections or take your vaccine, you will catch it. And persons have died. So guess what? What we are feeling, our customers are feeling. And you know what? In some situations, we are customers ourselves. So what a time of empathy and understanding. I always say that, you know, for Jamaicans have a way, you know, when we get to Norman Manley International Airport and we're there, we're in with Jamaica and we're guane and thing. But sometimes I find like when we trying to get like a visa and we go to the embassy and so to get a visa, everybody behave nice, you see, everybody talking hush tones, we're not loud, we're not too much, because guess what? It's an equal opportunity place there and we're just trying to get a visa. So we have to ask ourselves, what is our visa to move us through, to cause us to travel seamlessly through this COVID time? Producers, let me give you the next slide. Now, COVID has brought for us just a whole bunch of new concepts in a relatively short time. Safety first, safety sanitization. Well, I really wonder if we were washing our hands before, because clearly we weren't. Your Zoomability. We spend a lot of time on Zooming. a lot of time on Zoom, and so much time on Zoom. Sometimes we forget that we're on the Zoom. And as Ixora pointed out, we eat little lunch and a chop down pan a patty and a cocoa bread, and forget that the camera is on. Forget too that little patty and cocoa bread leaving on your teeth, and there you are going and going. Because you know what? It does feel like we're going and going and going. And many of us have not been able to just make that transition between what is work and what is home, because everything is flowing together. But you know what? Again, what is this teaching us? This is not a time of considering what is happening to us, but a time of considering what is happening for us. What can be happening different in our businesses? This is the time where we hear about agility. Lord, we said agility. How much more agility will we be agile? You know, 1 year later in Jamaica, we just went through another lockdown. So it feels like a repeat process. But again, we ask ourselves, what can I do different? What can I learn different in this time? How agile and adaptable am I? And then the pivot. Oh my goodness, pivot. Those of us who like gymnastics, can't do a cartwheel, you know, but I love gymnastics, and I love judging gymnastics and thing, you know, and then pivot on the pivot thing, and then tweet. And it feels like our lives are gymnastics. But then also, we were taught leadership in a particular way. I did an MBA and quite a few years ago, and I realized that even what I learned there, much of it has expired now, because you have to be leading in a brand new way. We have to be partnering in a new way. We have to be engaging our teams and our customers in fresh new ways in this time of COVIDity. Next slide, please. And I see in your comments, Farah says, I thought I was the only one that thought this pandemic shows how well and how often we practice good hygiene. Same thing I say. Now, at the core of our work, and I always say, regardless of whether we like our current job, we always have to ask ourselves, because our work and how we deliver excellence to our customers is a DNA, is a belly bottom, as you would say in Jamaica, kind of calling. That it matters to us that whether or not we love our boss, whether or not we love our fellow employees, whether or not we think we are in our dream job, we will deliver with excellence. And whatever we are delivering, it will always be top par. Whether we are internal providers of service, so we're in accounts and we're providing services to make sure those bills go out on time, whether or not we are customer facing in sales, we have to see ourselves as all deliberately customer facing. So the passion behind what we do, whether we are working virtually, face to face, from home, in the garden, run down to a coffee shop because the internet has dropped. Passion, as Michael Dell says, should be the fire that drives our life's work. Passion. And passion is not a function of your title. Passion is not a function of your current role. Passion is a function of that thing inside of us that says, I will go hard. I will be deliberate in how I deliver service. And it does not matter if I'm a doctor, lawyer, Indian, or chief, if I'm the security at the gate, people will want to come into this business because of how I serve, because my passion is driven by my knowledge that my place here on this earth is to impact. And I will impact in whatever role I am in. Next slide, please. You see my little boogie? Next slide, please. So my thing is, do it with passion or no bother. Don't do it at all. Since you cannot find the energy anymore, because you know what, guys? Sometimes we feel like we hit a wall and we feel burnt out. And nothing is wrong with that. Sometimes we are downright tired. I remember just before the Easter weekend, my teeth felt tired. My teeth, them tired. Sometimes we are bone weary and tired and we will hit a wall. That does not denigrate our capacity capacity to do more. It just means that we need to refuel. It doesn't mean that we have to hate our job or it's because of how the boss did look away. Or these customers are annoying. Because some of them annoying. I am an annoying customer. I am. Worse if you ask me to fill out any form, me annoying. Now, when you say to yourself, okay, stop for a moment. I need to plug back in and I need to refuel my passion. Nothing is wrong with that. Refuel your passion, but don't out the fire. So whether or not you are at home or at the workplace, do it with passion. I remember at the start of the pandemic, Roy had mentioned that he started in a job and then opened a business. I had just opened my own business. Oh my goodness. I have to turn on the AC. I'll start get hot and flush now when I think about it. So I started my own business, and I advise entrepreneurs, but I always say that I didn't really necessarily feel like a natural entrepreneur. I actually felt like someone who, I do like a paycheck at the end of the month. I like that paycheck and it shows little deductions and things. I like that slip of paper that's guaranteed. Took a step out on my own, and come March, there is a pandemic. Now, the name of my company actually means prophetic. And I just recall thinking, Lord, could you not have sent a prophecy to me to indicate to me that a pandemic was on the way so that I could make sure that I was in a full-time job? But here I am. People had to change, I had to adapt. I had to learn how to use technology in a different way. Yes, I have my ring light, I have my HD camera, I have set out lights all around me so that I will shine brightly. But I had to ask myself, what is your passion place? Is your passion place just fired up when all is going according to that 10-point goal plan that you've set that has not included a risk-oriented section that says COVID-19? Or does your passion flow in a way that regardless of the circumstance, you fire up? You say, listen, I'm going to get new customers. I'm going to serve my existing customers in a different way. And I am going to put aside what I think I know. I'm going to unlearn certain behaviors, and I am going to upskill myself for this new space. So yes, I'm one of those that get dressed up in my pearls and I come downstairs and lock a door in my pearls. Sometimes I'm barefooted. Sometimes I'll put on my heels too. Because I say to myself, you shall deliver. You shall deliver. Next slide, please. I'm seeing Curtis says, Fridays on the 25th of the month become insignificant. Let me tell you, I'll forget, Curtis, the end of the month. No. See when JPS send me the bill. Anybody from JPS here? Hello. There is no new normal. This is just life now. We have to master the art of working in no normal. So it requires a different level of adaptability, agility, and a right attitude. And attitude, attitude is peppered with so many things, because our attitude can be affected by our circumstance if we determine that our attitude is a function of our circumstance. Say as customer service gurus, as customer service innovators, that what we see is a time not where, well, you know what, and this work from home with the children, I just cannot deliver the attitude that is necessary, what my customers need. Then your attitude is governed by how bright the sun shines today. Your attitude has to be such that regardless of whether there is rain, you bring the sun, you bring the fire, you bring the passion, and you deliver. Because that customer who is feeling down, who is feeling that they've gotten to the end of their rope, your attitude saves them. Your attitude shows them another place. And guess what? Your attitude causes them to deliver to their customers in a different way. Our attitude is not a function of our circumstances. Our circumstances become better when our attitude takes over. Our attitude leads the way. But it's good attitude need to lead the way. Because some of us during this time have also recognized that we have an attitude problem. Something do we. We're too miserable. We're too fenke. Please, somebody put in the chat if they know what fenke means. And we've had an opportunity through this time of crisis and change to deliver on something new for our own self, to build on self, to renew self. And ask yourself if after 1 year in this pandemic, you have ended up in March of this year the same way. And if you have, guess what? The COVID is continuing. Use it as an opportunity, as the attitude builder. We're going to talk about adaptability and agility. Can I get the next slide, please? Every time I have a new dance motion. Now, adaptability is our capacity to be modified for a new use or purpose. And let me tell you, Tanisha, we're too blah, carefree, fenke, weak, too simple. We just can't rise with that. And if any of you have seen me speak in this year, in this 2021, X-Roy said that the word for last year was pivot. My word for this year is gumption. Gumption. And I use it in every presentation. What do we have at our core and in our belly bottom that governs our attitude, our adaptability, or agility, or ability to move despite the circumstances, or ability to rise to this new occasion, not to again see this as something that has happened to me, but something that has been happening for me. I must admit, as young as I am, because I'm not a day over 26. In fact, I'm just right now here celebrating my 26th birthday. That aside, sometimes with technology, I can have a little frightened way. Yep, sometimes. And I have found that during this time, I have built my technological capacity in such a way that I feel I can train people. Sitting down in a chair doing a presentation, you would never have told me in 2018 that that was possible, because I'm just like, you cannot deliver on any kind of energy sitting on a chair. But guess what? When you've got to do what you've got to do, but better yet, when you love what you are doing, when you get the opportunity to serve, to deliver, when you get this virtual work world, know that you say, where is my gumption? What makes me up? Yeah, man, you fly to some new heights. Thank you, Chris. 26. Next slide, please. Agility. Bill Gates says success today requires the agility and drive to constantly rethink, reinvigorate, react, and reinvent. And this is the time, I think, in most of our lives that to be the most agile. Now, I work with a lot of small businesses, and I also work with a lot of persons who have experienced the vagaries of I have seen persons who 1 week were collecting a paycheck and the following week have been made redundant or have been laid off. We all know this. We know of persons who have had to shutter their doors. We've also seen people rise from a place that would have appeared to be ashes because they are operating with a different level of gumption. And gumption, you know when you dig down into a good pot of soup, and I love a good hearty soup, dumpling, yam, cocoa, and thing in the soup. I want good goat belly soup. When you go down in there and you come up with the belly of it, ask yourself, when I have faced a crisis, what is my ability to, notwithstanding the circumstances, still serve my customers with excellence? That when you dig down, yes, sometimes you come up with a little soup water, but if you go back down in there to my root, to my core, so many of us have had to work on our core, our ability to move, to rethink, to reinvigorate, to react and reinvent. And I have seen some people do it well. What a great time for us to even study them. What a great time to connect with our customers in a different way, to converse with them in a different way, because guess what? Whether or not they're richer than you, poorer than you, at a different level than you, we are all going through this. The level of relationship building with our customers is on a different level because we are all feeling this. Next slide, please. Now, your ability to get moving, and I need to add to this, to keep moving. To keep moving, to keep moving, to keep moving, because yes, the kids have driven you crazy that day. Some of us all of a sudden understand that the teachers on Teachers' Day you should have given them a house for their gift or a car for their gift or an investment policy, because the little children give trouble. You never know, so they give so much trouble because you and them there in the evening when they come and the teacher go through the stress with them, and you're saying, oh my God, Brandon can chat. Yes, it can chat and give trouble. But no, you're experiencing it for yourself. And can you imagine in the middle of that, you have a customer like Rochelle who you've asked to fill out the form, and she said to you that form is too hard. Can you imagine what you do for that customer where, notwithstanding, despite those circumstances, you are still saying, let me help, let me serve you, because I know it's a tough time for you. I understand, because guess what? I'm going through this too. Next slide, please. So some lessons, and these are business lessons as well as personal lessons. Lesson number one we've learned, be clear on your priorities. And we have to be clear because it is, one, difficult to be decisive in our actions with our businesses if we're not clear on our priorities. And you know what? This is a JAXA conference. And what better place for us to recognize that the reason we get up and do the life's work is for our customers. We have to be clear that our customers are our priority. They pay us, they pay our team members, they keep the lights on at the office. And in fact, it's more at the yard now that they're keeping the lights on. So when we do that, we are asking ourselves constantly, how is this helping our customer? How is this helping my customer? Take a balanced approach that evolves throughout the life of the crisis, because this crisis has taken on new life. First, we focus on protecting today, but you know what? We also have to start reimagining the future. This is a time of no new normal. We have such a boundless ability now to not just be local, but to be global. We have social media, we have the internet if it don't drop, but we have it too. We can imagine, we get a chance to step back and rethink how we deliver our business, whether or not we're public sector, private sector, NGO, one-man business. This is now an opportunity where when you were one man, because of technology, you literally seem to have 3 other staff members that are able to deliver. Reimagine the future. How will I serve my customers better? How will I make them fall in love with me all over again every single day? That they will drive past other good establishments, you know, with nice AC blow upon them, and then I'll give you coffee and tea, but they're still coming by me because I am serving them. Manage the near term strategically based on holistic view of challenges. So we have to be paying attention. We have to be paying attention to the news. We have to be paying attention to social media because we have to be seeing what the new trends are. I haven't made it fully to TikTok yet. It's a new space. At 26, sometimes I can't take no more things beeping on my phone. But I follow them silently and I'm looking and I'm saying to myself, because I have to be paying attention again now to who the new set of customers are. Because people like me, some of us, ask a futurist, Dr. Claire Nelson. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, I went to a futurist conference and the thing that I left with is you must have a 15-year-old best friend. This thing has affected just how I do business and how I have mentors who are teenagers because they are showing me who the next set of customers are. But you know what the best thing about them is? That they are currently influencing buying patterns. And when they have auntie like me who glad to buy things for them, I don't even know what this thing is, but it excites them. And I'm told that I gave the best present and that's all I need to hear. And they are influencing the marketplace. Are we paying attention? Are we really paying attention? Are we caught up all this virtual world? Use the world. Use this virtual world. The lessons that we're learning. Encourage in yourself and in your team the out-of-the-box thinking. Work with partners. Collaborate. And we have to understand that there is no context. These are just unprecedented times. So we get to reinvent, reinvigorate, and rethink ourselves every day. You know, one time we used to talk about how we get bored with the work that we're doing. COVID make we can't bored again. This virtual space, because the lessons are continuous. Can we move to the next slide, please? So as we're working in this virtual space, we have to be aware that the buying journey is very different. How many of us spend sometimes on Amazon just browsing around, dropping something in the cart, and never leaving our homes, especially too if the service that we use with the shipping gets those packages delivered to our home, and if we're in the foreign and Amazon send it to ourselves, to our house. And you know what I love with it? That you've just spent your money buying sometimes some useless items. But when that package gets to your door, you feel that Santa has come and you say to yourself, after having run your credit card, this is you. For me? Is this for me? So we recognize that in this virtual space, we are shopping online, we are meeting online, we are existing online. So it also means for us and for our businesses that we are not local anymore. People are seeing us from all over the world. When we're looking at our little businesses now, when we're looking at our business in Jamaica, we're thinking of expanding. We need to know that Amazon did start out small. But they grew because they recognized that they were not going to just fall in the status quo of what that customer journey is. And when you have a store, you set up the things this way and they close this way. They were going to change dramatically the buying journey. Shanique, I see this thing, the shirt is tight. Yeah, man. I'm expecting a package now, and let me tell you, every time those packages come, you would never believe that I paid for them. I'm wondering, what's in this box? Amazon has changed our buying experience. And can you imagine this? When we're thinking about our businesses and we're starting to see this virtual boundless space, this business of these e-commerce businesses were set up not for a time like this. But yet they are set up for a time like this. Are we future-proofing our business? Are we creating new buying journey experiences for our customers? Are we rethinking our processes? Are we rethinking how we communicate? Next slide, please. It's not business as usual. It is not. So next slide, please. I like doing that. Next slide, please. Everything is one click away. And the unfortunate thing is that regardless of whether we're in the private or the public sector, people actually believe that everything is one click away. We have a generation that believes that every purchase, every thought is one click away. Now, I have some friends, I'm 26, so I don't know about this, but I have some friends that when they had to study law, they had to go to the library and take down dusty books and read. Now everything is on a tablet. Can you imagine where we have come to? When we're meeting with our customers, when we're conversing with our customers, are we getting into the root of the problems that they don't even know they have that we're going to solve? Or have we gotten just so humdrum, humdrum, same old? How are we using the virtual world? We can't just dare so just a panka. Somebody tell me if they know what panka mean. Everything is one click away. Are we one click away in our thoughts? Are we constantly one click away from making that customer journey awesome, from blowing their minds, Or have we gotten comfortable that we have 15 customers or we have 100 customers and they must love us? No, they don't need to. Not anymore. Where are we in how we are clicking our reinvention or innovations? We have to be hearing and speaking to our customers in a different way and in this new language. Next slide, please. Now, and I get to communication. Some of you may know that phone with the string on it. I'm going to tell you a secret. I know it. I know when we only had landlines and when cell phones were like a thing. And now little baby children have tablets and are swiping on tablets and they take a photo and expect to look at their photo. They don't even know their name good. And they're looking at photo of themselves. And they will take a brand new device and immediately their brains are keyed in to how this technology works. How does that happen? Are we aging ourselves because it's comfortable to say that I don't need to communicate broadly because I'm a big woman now? Or are we keeping our brains young and versatile and that we understand that what we come with is this wealth of knowledge of the change in the way we communicate, from the phone with the string on it, from party line, from phone booth to that phone in your hand. And as we are communicating and in this virtual space, we can't get too relaxed either, because sometimes too we have to recognize that when we say to a customer, DM me on Instagram, they DM you and they're looking or waiting on a response. Are you prepared and set up for this? When you see other businesses on social media, before you jump and follow them, have you started studying them? Have you started reading about what are the different things, how you post differently? But you know what? Communication, the communication that we have forgotten, and it's like we don't know how to do anymore, is to talk to people. Oh my goodness. To talk to people, to recognize that the sound of our voice, the melody of our voice, or the lack thereof of melody comes across through the line. And there's nothing like when I follow you on Instagram and I like your product and your service, and when I call you, I have to say, but you don't sound like you're a post. You don't sound like you actually want to hear from me and to get my business. This is a world now where everybody's on a WhatsApp group. And when they ask in the group who delivers the best whatever, that people are now using this method to advertise your business. And they're also saying, please don't reach out to them because they don't like customers. So you know what? What some of us fail to recognize is that sometimes the winning thing for us is our ability to communicate with our voices. For some of us, the winning thing is to recognize that when we are on a Zoom, listen to this carefully. Zoom and any kind of virtual meeting space, if you're on speaker setting and you are the speaker, do you know that you're really kind of right up in people's faces? So they can look and say you never wash your face good, you not comb your hair, you're not turning up. Can you imagine if the magic that you brought in face-to-face, you saw that Zoom is also face-to-face, and you amp up that magic, that you make that customer's day different, that they actually go and comb their hair because they see how you have turned up to do business, how you turn up for your meetings, how you show up. Christine, iron your clothes. We can see say it crush up. Thank you. Next slide, please. Social media. I love social media, but yet I don't. So I silence all kinds of things. I silence some of my WhatsApp group. I was like, okay, I take it. Nice. Ping, 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 ping. And you know what? The flip side of social media is sometimes it can waste our time because we get totally distracted. So we have to find that balance now in being able to manage the information that's coming to us while still delivering on the work that we need to do. And we don't have to be on everything, but my thing in life is that we must be able to have a conversation for 5 minutes on any kind of topic. So before you knock it, what do you know about it? Your children are on it. They know more about it. Your customers, if your customers are a Facebook customer, if your customers are Instagram customer, if your customers are TikTok customers, what do you know about it? Can you communicate and change your language and communication to fit the social media type? Can you? So I've aged myself in telling you that the TikTok, I'm suffering. I can't manage the TikTok. But you know what? I've had to kind of segue myself in there because I understand that the next set of customers, the customers that are affecting business, and when I'm advising businesses, I need to know what this new set of young people are doing. And let me tell you, some amazing things are happening there. Can we be too caught up in it? Yes, of course we can be too caught up in it so that we don't actually do the people them work. But we have to ask ourselves, how are we utilizing social media for our learning? How are we utilizing social media for our business? Do we even understand how to use it to serve our customers? Do we think we just put up a post? Chris is going to be talking to you about technology and stuff, so I'm not even going to jump too much in it, but you've got to know what this social media is and how social are you. Next slide, please. Website and email, and it's again, how do we manage all of these virtual spaces? And I'll give you this. I'm more of an email person than a WhatsApp person. Okay? And I also like that the persons who are doing business with me understand that I'm really more email than WhatsApp. And there's sometimes that I say to myself that there's some conversations that are not appropriately had on WhatsApp. They're more appropriately had in a proper email that we've agreed on certain things. And sometimes we get a little loosey-goosey on WhatsApp and we don't spell things properly, and we do that now too with our emails. We've gotten a little loosey-goosey, and we have to remember, that our customers go across a broad spectrum. And sometimes they do things like take screenshots of the foolishness we've sent to them and sent to other people. And then people think that we don't have any sense as a group. And we've just, for the entire organization is affected. Now we have to stop and say this virtual space has so many elements to it. Can we manage every single part of it? No, we can take on what we can manage and we can study it. We can manage ourselves. Because you know what, whether or not you're responding via email or WhatsApp, if you're constantly doing it with that high level of professionalism, you know that anything you've put out can be posted anywhere. And in fact, it's going to bring more customers to your business. Next slide, please. At the end of the day, virtual or face-to-face, our customers expect us to figure out their problem, to figure out the problem they don't know they have, and to deliver to them. I'm going to, it's so amazing the different products and services that have emerged through this COVID time. I love orchids. All of a sudden, I'm a green plant person and I follow all kind of people with green plants. So I have orchids and green plants. And it's amazing the businesses that I've seen develop out of this COVID time and how they have used social media, but how they have used their customer experience and this new buying journey where a photo is taken of something. You know, I see a lot of persons post things, beautiful items on social media, and the question that you see keep coming in the comments is, how much is it? Why is it a secret? Tell the people how much so they can know if they can afford it or not. You know, the people don't want to have that added element of layers. They want their information to be a click away. So you are constantly being challenged to figure it out. But what an amazing position we are in, that we are in a place to reinvent and reinvigorate our business on a daily basis in this virtual space. This should be a time where we are excited because we get an opportunity every day to do it better, every day to create a new way, to create a new trend, not just locally, by the way, globally. Next slide, please. So get it done. At the end of the day, we don't want to just be promising that you will receive exceptional service. We want to know that you will get it done every single solitary time. How many of us go to restaurants and we order the same thing every time because we know it is going to taste the same way every single time? That we drive past places to go to this one place because they will deliver on their product every single time. They get it done. So whether we are pivoting, vivoting, whatever we're doing, we are still required to get it done on time, and to deliver. And every time, constantly think, how are we going to top it up a notch? How are we going to do it differently this time? How are we not just going to worry about what the competitors are doing, because we have to see ourselves as the biggest competitor to the service we delivered yesterday? How are we going to outdo ourselves? We have this big, broad virtual space. We've got to use an exceptional every single solitary time. I look frozen. And we've got to repeat it every single solitary day and do it like we mean it and we love it, because we're doing it with passion. We are serving. We are all going through something. And can you imagine if you repeat that effect? So let's go on. Keep on repeating excellence. And every single time that challenge comes, we dig deep. We sometimes have to add ingredients to that pot of soup of who we are. And we've got to get that gumption to deliver, notwithstanding and despite our circumstances, because our customers deserve it. And you know what? We are purposed to cause an impact in people. Let's just keep on doing it. Thank you. Thanks, Francine. That's the end of my presentation.
Next slide, please. I wanted to get that in, just like Rochelle did. Next slide, please. I love it. Guys, listen, this is what I was talking about. That's why I couldn't come on. Think it. Panka. You getting me? And as Dr. Nelson says, panka would modify think. So we have an adverb somewhere in there. Guys, let me tell you, as we crack the service code in the virtual space, this is what we're talking about. Thank you so much, Rochelle. We will go hard. We will be deliberate in how we deliver service. We will do it with passion or go home. Yes? We're talking about agility,
yes,
adaptability, attitude, and passion. passion in everything that we're doing. Yes? Boy, I tell you, I love it. You see where I couldn't come on, thank you. I tried to start with the song to even, just get half